The name is Mallet, Mike Mount, Private Eye. And being a good detective for many years, I have seen many cases. But there was one that had me a trifle confused. It was raining that night, splashing down hard out on the city street. I can still picture that murky water spilling over into the putrid gutters, sweeping with it helpless lumps of garbage that stood between it and the already overrun sewers, where those big, ugly rats live. And it made me mad. I hate rats, especially the ones with the beady eyes, the ugly tails, and the gunk that comes out of their mouths. And it was on that night that the whole mess began.
Hey, pick them up, stupid!
It's bad luck to pick up all your cards until they're all dealt.
Yeah, right, Louie.
What did I tell you?
Wow, shut up your face and play your cards. Will you?
Just one.
Uno.
Two for me, please, Johnny.
Please.
What are you, some kind of pansy or something? The dealer takes one.
Yeah. I'm in with a C-note.
Me too.
Put it in.
Dealer stays and raises 100.
Pretty surely yourself, eh, Joey?
Talk's cheap, copper. Let's see you put a little of that money where your mouth is.
Alright. I'll see you at last the 100. And call Queen Elizabeth in on the action.
Yeah. This crap ain't worth the first 100.
Yeah, Apple.
I'll see you back, stupid.
Vegetable! A 9-letter word for a cigar-shaped balloon used during the First World War. And that gives me an E for putting on a false front. And that would be a facade.
Like bluffing.
Yeah, sort of.
Or cheating, eh, John? You'd know all about that. I call.
Cheating, you know all about that, wouldn't you, copper? Putting on that facade of the honest cop down at the police station. If they really know your business, they'd find you a room there for good.
That's my concern and none of yours. What do you got?
Read 'em at the week.
A boat?
Cripes. A full house.
Yeah, 2 guns and a pair.
Mister, I've never seen luck like that before.
What do you mean?
Exactly what I said. Do it again. This time I'll be watching you close. Real close.
Relax, boys. My, aren't we jumping? So what'll it be? Seven cards stud. Draw. 5 straight.
7 cards stud.
Draw.
I like kings and little ones.
Kings and little ones. Sounds appropriate, don't it?
Now hold on a wee we bet here?
Okay, 5 cards. 1 draw after the bet.
Thanks for playing the game, Joey. Every time, about the time I played.
Why don't you stop taking your friend's advice and shut up?
Did Joey tell you boys about our plans? We're gonna have a honeymoon in Oahu in Hawaii. We're just gonna lie on the beach all day and enjoy the sun. We're gonna drink all kinds of expensive drinks with a little umbrella. And when we get back...
Oh, wow. Who?
Tell that joint to shut up.
As I was saying, when Joey and I get back, we're gonna open up our own business.
Basta! Play the cards. 100.
The bet's 5,000.
Nick, that's 5 grand. That ain't our money. You lose that, and we got a lot of explaining to do.
What's scamming up to now, Nick? The fights or the ponies?
It's bigger than that, Joey.
Louis! I don't want you saying nothing. You better be quiet. Keep your mouth shut. Shut up, Louis.
Oh, the cops in on it too. Sort of like the 3 little pigs.
What game we play anyways? I forgot. Forget it. How about it?
Joey, you can't bet all that. All our plans, our dreams, my fur coat. What if you lose?
I'll see you at 5. And this. And this.
Call.
Joey!
Davida. Nick.
Card. 1. I don't mind seconds.
No cards. A flush.
3 of a kind.
A straight flush. Looks like it's mine again, eh, boys?
And 38 policemen special. This time try dealing from the top of the deck.
Hey, who shut out the lights?
Cops come around.
Come on, Joey, wake up. The real cops are coming, Joey. Come on, wake up.
Oh, Joey!
Better shut up about this, or you'll get your Hawaiian vacation, alright? You'll be deep sea diving in cement high heels. Understand? Don't tell this to nobody.
It was still raining. Well, it was going to be another typical, boring evening. That's at least what I thought. I lit myself another lucky. I smiled to myself, and I wished that it rained every day. But something was wrong. Well, I knew that because I'm a good detective. I could feel it in the air. Call it a tick smell, or call it an odor. I recognized it right away. It was a kind that comes from a dame. It smelled like a flower I never knew, but I wanted to know. Yeah, it was evening in Paris. But Paris is a long way from here, and across a lot of waters, where a lot of French people live and do paintings I don't understand. And it made me mad. I hate French people, but I hate rats even more.
How's business, Mike?
There she was, standing right in front of me. The years had taken their toll, but she wore it like a true dame.
Been a long time, Mike.
Too long, Velveeta. Coffee?
You haven't changed. You're still the same Mike you were years ago.
Same coffee, too. Would you believe it gets better with age?
I believe anything you told me, Mike, you big lug. You look good, and I like your suit.
Gee, thanks. I had it specially tailored to hide my rod, see?
Yeah, it's just like I remember, Mike. Big. Real big.
I decided the time was right to say what I didn't want to say.
Sorry to hear about Joey. I heard you and him had big plans that he was going to make of you an honest girl.
Yeah, now it's gonna make an honest guy of him.
Honest?
Honest? That's all over now. That's why I'm here.
Just then, the phone rang.
Hello? No, Mr. Wall doesn't live here. No, there are no walls in this house.
It was the same wrong number. Over and over again. I was getting a little tired of it, but it was easier than getting those bastards at Marbell to change my listing, right? And it made me mad. But not as mad as French paintings, or even rats. I turned to Velveeta and said,
What can I do for you?
Joey was murdered. No one's touching it. They're covering it all up. No one cares. To them, he was just another street hustler. To me, he was more. We're going to get married. We're going to get out of this scummy city. We're going to have a honeymoon in Oahu.
I didn't know what kind of game she was playing, but I decided to go along anyway.
Who?
Oahu.
Oahu.
Right.
I decided to quit while I was ahead.
I was there when he was killed. It was awful. You've got to get those murdering rats.
She said the magic word. Rat. And it made me mad. I ate rats. Something in my gut told me if I didn't help out Velveeta, those rats would be nibbling away at her next.
Alright, Val. I'll help you. But you gotta help me too. We're in this together.
Thanks, Mike. I knew I could count on you.
Right. But I'm going to have to ask you a few questions. It'll be hard.
That's a switch. Sure, Mike. Anything you say, go ahead.
I started filling out the form. The same form I filled out thousands of times before. It was standard procedure. I could do it in my sleep.
Who was present during the killing? Was it A, Nick Veranda and Louis Linguini? B, Stu Mulligan the cop? C, the Andrews sisters? Or D, all of the above except C?
All of the above except C.
I knew it. Those two rat crooks and that rat cop. It made me mad. I wondered to myself if any of those guys were French.
Would you call those guys A, two-bit hoods? B, sleazy love? C, dirty good-for-nothings? Or D, all of the above?
D, all of the above.
I know this is tough, babe, but just one more question. Would you consider these rats A, dangerous? B, unpredictable? Or C, cranky?
A and B, dangerous and unpredictable.
Sorry, Velveeta, I think you can only pick one.
Then A, dangerous.
That's A for dangerous?
Right.
She told me what I needed to know. Now I wanted to get that murdering rat. Not for killing Joey, but for killing a dame's dream. I sat down. I stared at her, and she stared back. She had those sad eyes. You know the ones. The kind you see on a kid whose poodle was just run over by a 38 Packard with a 350 engine and optional side moldings. Yeah, that kind of sad. The whole scene started bringing back memories of me and her. Her upper lip began to tremble as she said,
Remember years back, those parties?
Yeah, the parties.
Too much whiskey and the late nights.
Yeah, those late nights.
Remember the time you threw up in the back of the taxi?
Yeah, those late nights.
And the time you took me home and you couldn't get it up?
I remember.
Thanks, Mike.
One thing I like about you, Velveeta, you could always take a slap.
Thanks.
it was getting late. And I was getting tired. I wanted to get on this case fast. and get those murdering rats before they knew what hit them. But I needed one more piece of information first.
Alright, Val. Where can I find these murdering rodents?
Well, I know you can find Nick down at Guido's Italian Village restaurant. I don't know where you can find the other ones, but I'll find out.
Dang.
She was gone, and I could feel my pulse go back down to normal. But she'd be back. Sooner than both of us thought.
Sorry, Mike, I forgot my purse.
It's alright.
Say, do you think you could lend an old friend some money?
Sure. Now here's a sub. Buy yourself something flimsy. And I don't mean an alibi.
Mike! You're not thinking that
I'm just joking.
Boy, I'd been waiting a long time to use that line.
Well, are there any of the walls there? Then what's holding up your house?
It wasn't the next night. It was still raining, and it made me mad. I had phoned Velveeta earlier and arranged to meet her on the waterfront. But first, I had a date to meet Nick Veranda. Velveeta gave me some inside information that his mother owned a bakery business that I could keep up my sleeve in case I needed it. I was thankful for that. The restaurant was close by, so I decided to walk. To find a good word to describe Gino Valenti's would be kinda rough.
Coming on a favela, you don't like my food, you get out of my restaurant! Papa, I'm sorry! I'm sorry, Papa! Oh, hi, how's it going?
Yeah, rough. That would be a good word. I quickly spotted Nick in the corner, alone. He was eating the number 2 special, spaghetti with meat sauce, zesty cheese, which included the all-you-can-eat salad bar for only $2.95 on now to September 30th.
And if I join you, Nick Veranda?
There, sit down.
Too late, I was already sitting.
Nice suit you got there, eh?
Gee, thanks. I had a specially tailored to hide my rod.
Hey, man, that's that big rod you got there. What, you a cop or something?
No, but that doesn't stop me from asking you questions. Like about Joey.
Joey, that's for who?
I knew where I wanted this line of questioning to go, but I wanted it to go there faster.
Maybe that'll refresh your memory.
I twisted his arm behind his back and watched it go up and down his vertebrae.
Hey, you better watch it, eh? I got friends downtown, pal. Who are you anyway?
Mallet. Mike Mallet.
Mallet, eh? That wouldn't be pronounced Mallet, eh, would it? Are you a Frenchman?
No, I'm a private eye.
Should have guessed. Look, I'll tell you again. I don't know nothing about a guy named Joey who was killed in a warehouse during a high-stakes poker game on a Wednesday night about 10 to 12, okay? I don't know nothing about it.
Something told me he was lying. I think it was the way he held his fork. It's one of those things you get to know after being a good detective for many, many years. I was getting tense. I sure could use that coffee. And I was getting mad too.
If you think you can pin something on me, forget it. 'Cause I got witnesses. All kinds of witnesses who see me in all kinds of places, in all kinds of times.
Friends downtown?
Yeah, friends downtown.
I skillfully noted that Nick hadn't touched his coffee. I decided to chance it.
Hey, Nick, are you going to drink that coffee?
No, you can have it.
Gee, thanks. Would you hold that for me?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you. Now tell me and tell me straight, Nick. Where were you when Joey bit the dust?
If it's any of your business, I was with a lady friend. Yeah, I got witnesses too.
Friends downtown?
Yeah, friends downtown.
Now I knew I had him where I wanted him, so I decided to give him a little squeeze. You know the kind I mean. The kind you give you a tube of toothpaste to get out the little bit that's left. Because your breath is real bad. And you got a date with a dame, but you don't got time to run to the corner store and buy another tube. Yeah, that kind of squeeze. So I decided to pull out my surprise.
Nick, tell me, how's your mother's bakery business?
Mother? What mother? I ain't got no mother. I'm an orphan.
You mean like Oliver Twist?
Yeah, like Oliver Twist.
Oliver Twist. That was my favorite story when I was a kid. You just don't lie about things involving Oliver Twist. He must have been telling me the truth. It was close to 8 and I had to meet Velveeta, but I warned him.
Hey, Nick! Don't try leaving town.
Why would I want to leave? All my friends live downtown.
Where I was meeting Velveeta was close by, so I decided to walk. It was still raining. It reminded me of French paintings and rats. I couldn't decide which made me madder, and that made me mad. When I got there, she was already waiting. It was the first time I had a chance to give this dish the once over. Her beautiful legs, her natural curves, and her soft face.
Nick's mother never owned no bakery business.
I'm sorry, Mike. It was a little mistake. It was Louis. Yeah, it was Louis. And it wasn't his mother. It was his half-sister that owned the bakery. Honest, Mike. And I know where he is. He's working at Pink Flamingo as a doorman.
Go to work, doll.
I told her to meet me in the tunnel in 1 hour. The Pink Flamingo wasn't very far away, so I decided to walk. It was still raining. This joint was a rough place. The guns were loaded and so were the gals. It was a private club. Lucky for me, I was a private eye. As I came to the door, I realized, as any good detective would after years in the business, that I needed some kind of ploy to get me through that door. I had it. A ploy that would outfool even the smartest crook. I knocked.
Who is it?
Puller brush man.
Who?
Avon.
No thanks.
Damn, I had to think fast. I knocked again.
Mike Mallet, Private Eye.
Oh, what you gonna do that for?
Just be lucky I didn't say Mike Mallet, Private Dick.
Oh. That's a nice suit you're wearing, Mr. Mallet.
Gee, thanks. I had it specially made to hide my gun.
Jeez. If I had a rod like that, I know a dame who'd...
Shut up!
I knew by looking at this loser that he was the kind that liked to play rough, so I hit him with the bomb, my first chance.
So, Louis, tell me about your half-sister and her bakery business.
Half sister? Bakery business? I don't even have a full sister or brother.
You mean like Huckleberry Finn?
Yes.
Huckleberry Finn was my second favorite story as a kid. I knew then he wasn't lying. You just don't lie about stuff like that. I knew to get more information out of this lug, it meant getting physical.
Would you hold that for me?
I guess so. I know what you want to know, Mr. Mallet. You want to know about Joey. You want to know about his murder. You want to know what happened to him. You want to know who stabbed him. Well, I don't know who done it. Honest, I don't. He was a nice guy, Joey was. Everybody liked him. Well, almost everybody. Him and Velveeta were gonna get married. They were gonna go to Oahu.
Who? Oahu.
Right.
Shit.
So we were playing cards. Nick, Stu, me and another guy, and Joey. Yeah, Joey. And the other guys was getting a bit sore because Joey was skunking him. And then the lights went out. And when the lights came back on, Joey's lights was out.
I hated to see the big guy cry. Crying reminds me of a rain. The rain reminds me of rats posing for French guys so they can draw pictures of them I don't understand. And it made me mad. But luckily, my intuition paid off. He was sure tough to crack, but a good detective always knows how to find it. I wish I had time for a coffee, but I had to meet Velveeta. When I arrived, she was already waiting. It was a second chance I had to give this dish the once over. Her dress made no attempt to conceal her figure. Her dark, glistening hair, her soft, piercing eyes.
Joey never had no half sister with no biggery.
You're right, Mike. You're perfectly right. I'm all mixed up on account of Joey. And it was Mulligan. Yeah, Stu Mulligan. And it wasn't no half-sister. It was his third cousin on his father's side that owned the bakery. Yeah, and as a matter of fact, he walks this beat. He should be by any minute.
Good work, dog. How did you find that out anyway?
I slept with his partner. You understand, Mike. I did it for Joey.
Well, how was it?
Great.
You shouldn't be doing things like that. It's a job for professionals like me.
The distance, I could hear the footsteps of Mulligan approaching.
How you doing, Mulligan?
That's Officer Mulligan to you, Mallet.
That's Mr. Mallet to you, Mulligan.
I thought to myself, there's nothing worse than a bad cop. Except for French paintings or rats.
Why don't you go home, Mallet? It's dark.
That was it. The straw that broke the camel's back. Mulligan should have been watching me closer. I snapped the side of my piece across his jaw and laid his face open to the bone. Then I kicked him in the groin. This dropped the critter in his tracks. He tried to reach for his gun, but I hit him again, this time backhanded. I could hear the faint gurgle as the blood began to ooze out of his broken mouth. I had him where I wanted him, so I asked him.
So how's about telling me about your third cousin on your father's side in this bakery business? What did he say?
I think he said Pinocchio.
Pinocchio. He must have been telling me the truth. But no sooner than I was convinced He had a funny kind of rheumatism that cramped his hand and he could no longer shoot me.
What? Oh, come on.
You heard me, buddy. Besides, Oliver Twist will always be my fave. I told Velveeta I'd get in touch with her later, and I walked back to my office. I went to work right away. I could feel the heat, the pressure building. Yep, my coffee was ready. Walking from the door to the chair gave me a long time to think about the case. Being a good detective, my mind can pick up threads and weave them into a cloth. Once I made a bedspread. But something was bothering me. It was something Velveeta said back on page 13. If everybody was sitting around the table, who turned out the lights? I had it. It was a long shot, but when I fire, I don't miss. I shoot fast. I think fast. They all call me fast. Even the dames, but that's another kind of story, no? I phoned Velveeta and asked her to meet me at the warehouse at midnight. I had a plan to trap a rat. Then, I decided to play a little game with Nick. I picked up the phone.
Hi, Nick. It's me, Velveeta. I'm scared. What's going on? This private dick Mallet wants to meet me in the warehouse where Joey was killed at midnight. Okay, thanks, Nick.
I was always good at impressions in detective school. Well, he fell for it, and knowing Nick, he brings Stu and Louie with him. I reached for my coat and hat, but my hat, it was missing. Too bad. It was a great hat, like an old friend. You know the kind I mean. The kind of friend you can lend your red wagon to and you know he'll give it back. Not the kind you lend it to. When you go back to get it back, you find out he moved to Nebraska. I hate those kind of friends and they make me mad. But one case at a time. I'll get to this one after I find Joey's killer. The warehouse wasn't very far away, so I decided to walk. When I entered the scene, it was just as I expected. They all just sat there nervous, waiting for that last scene to be played out.
Mike!
Mike. Mike?
Mike!
Nice hat!
I was glad. Those 2 words saved me a week of hard work.
No! I don't want to alarm anybody, but the killer is right in this room. So, couldn't come alone, eh, Nick? Weasels like you are all the same. Killing comes easy, cause you never get your hands dirty. And if you do, you got your friends downtown to watch them for you. Along with your girlfriends and your witnesses. Besides, what kind of name is Miranda anyway? It wouldn't be French, would it? Ha! And you look like a cop on the beat.
Whoa!
Get it? Beat. And you hate being beat. Especially at cards. Spend Joey's money yet? Rat. I hate rats. And then there's Louis. Poor, innocent Louis. I bet you know girls that would do anything with the guy who shot Joey. Catch my drift, Louis?
I didn't.
Shut up, Louis!
And last but not least, there's Velveeta.
I looked at her. She was tempting, treacherous, and much too willing to be good.
I did a little checking on you, doll. It was you and Joey were planning to open up the bakery business. Now with him out of the picture, you get all the dough. Very crafty, Velveeta. And what are those? Rats.
Speaking of rats.
Now, let's look at the facts. The killer had to be in the room during the murder. He had to be the one to most benefit from Joey's killing. He had to know all the entrances and all the exits. And had to be in the business where backstabbing was fair game. But most of all, he had to be able to turn out the lights. The killer is Joey's understudy, Virgin Olivia.
The part was mine, Mallet. All mine. And if it wasn't for those damn migraines, I could have slept with those producers. Well, I could have been another Donnie Most, or even that guy who plays the professor on Gilligan's Island. Instead, all I could do was take them out dancing to dinner. Well, don't you see? I had to do it. The dirty bum deserved everything he got. And that's for you, Mallet.
You will never take me alive.
That's it.
Let's go play some guys.
Well, I'm tired of this.
Well, another case solved. Two as a matter of fact. One, Joey's killer. And more importantly, I found my hat. Well, it was getting late. And I wanted to go home. But home was on the other side of town. Well, I had my car. But, you guessed it, I decided to walk.
Wrong. I decided to take